Hello YouTube, this is my first video about Asperger Syndrome and the symptoms. I was diagnosed with Asperger's about 10 months ago now, and I'm in my late 30s. And I've done a lot of reading and research about the different symptoms that somebody with Asperger's might have. And I've been wanting to try and find out how Asperger's affects me. There's loads of good stuff out there about all the different symptoms, whether it's sensitivity to light, noise, skin sensitivities, anxiety in social situations, that kind of thing. And it got me to, the thing that's really in my mind is, when is something an issue that would affect anybody, whether they had Asperger's or not, and when something is actually an Aspergic symptom. Because, for instance, a neurotypical person or somebody with Asperger's might both find it very hard to go to a wedding for a whole lot of reasons, and very valid reasons, I would say. But I find it hard going to weddings, but is that an Aspergic symptom, or is that just an issue? And I don't suppose it really matters at the end of the day, but I've given it a lot of thought, and I'd also really like to hear what your views are on this. But what my brother had said about this was that, about Aspergic symptoms, was that the difference between that and an everyday issue is the extent and the frequency. So an issue, if somebody has an issue, it's more limited to specific situations or specific people, that kind of thing. As far as Aspergic symptoms are concerned, the frequency, in my case with my anxiety around people, the frequency is, it affects me every day of my life. It's never going to go away. It's always there. And the extent is, it always causes some degree of anxiety. Either, if I'm in good form, if I'm happy, if I'm relaxed, there's always a nagging doubt or worry in my head when I'm around people. However, if I'm more anxious or stressed or in particular situations, it can be much worse, to the extent that I'll maybe almost want to run away or just completely avoid being in the situation in the first place, stay at home, not go out. The other thing that I was thinking in terms of difficulties with social situations is that I think I lack the skills and ability that a neurotypical person might have in the same situation. So, for instance, if I'm in a group of people and everybody's talking, or a neurotypical person's in the same, or neurotypical person's there, I think that they would pick up on something if they'd put their foot in their mouth, or if there was someone who didn't like them there, or there's some other kind of difficulty. I think they would be able to pick that up much more readily than I would, and be able to navigate their way out of it much more easily. Although that's just a theory, I don't know that for sure, obviously. If I put myself in that situation, I think what, and this is again talking about the extent here, I think I'm really quite perceptive in as much as I'm able to pick up negativity. I think a lot of people with Asperger's probably are. that I'm very, very attuned to negativity. I will know if I'll know if there's an undercurrent, or if there's hostility, or if there's something bad up ahead. I'll pick up on it. Where I really feel I fall short, though, is I don't know where it's necessarily direct. I'll know who's maybe feeling, who the negativity is coming from. I'll not necessarily know where it's directed. I'll not know if it's directed at me. So there could be negativity, and it's got nothing to do with me, but I'll worry and fret about it to the extent that I'll begin to shut down. Although I've no real idea whether it's directed at me or not. Or if it is directed at me, say for instance I've said something insensitive, or I've not picked up on something that people maybe think that I should, then I don't always know what I've said, and I don't know always how to get out of it. I don't know not how to get out of it, but best how to redress the situation, or how to try and rebuild bridges again. And it's this feeling that I lack the skills and the abilities for that kind of thing. I think that's maybe the difference between someone who's neurotypical and someone who's Aspergic, or certainly in my case, I just don't feel I have those skills and abilities. So, yeah, that's what I think the difference between an issue anybody could have and an Aspergic symptom is. It's the extent and the frequency. The frequency is all the time. And the extent is that, it has an impact on me all the time, ranging from something quite minor, but definitely there, always there, through to being, almost incapacitating. And then that's maybe caused by things like difficulties, or just lacking the skills and the ability to negotiate things that neurotypical people can, I assume, do more readily than I can. So, yeah, I hope that's maybe been useful if you've asked yourself the same kind of question. And I'd really like to hear from you and know what your view in that is. I'd like to know what your view in that is. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up now, and yeah, thanks, bye.